Every step is a dance. And when do they sing? All the time. Because every word is a song. So we're showing people, when we sing or we dance, that actually we are an alternative, a viable alternative. And when you see that we're tolerating all the insults that come to people, when we see that we're tolerating the weather, when we see that we're tolerating our desires to be the nice day with the remote control in front of the television and coming out to make some statement, then people's hearts start to feel a little touched by that. And slowly, bit by bit, when they come, one Christmas comes after another, one birthday comes after another, and still Father Christmas hasn't brought them what they wanted. The house on the hill, a beautiful girl, a beautiful boy. Then they start to think, maybe these people do have something to offer. And if we stick around long enough, they will come. And they do come. So when Radha-Priya Mataji was here, serving directly in London, there was maybe a few dozen devotees only. Maybe, I don't know, a few. Sorry? In Berry Place, it's just round the corner. But the first temple that gave birth to this temple, when she was there, there were just a few dozen devotees at most, and to do everything and everything. And now, actually, there are thousands of devotees, not just in this country, but all around the world. So it is spreading. Maybe the quality of the devotees may be sometimes not as powerful and strong and as committed as the devotees who were at that time. However, we still see that there are a few devotees who are holding up the principles of Srila Prabhupada and are going out, doing book distribution, keeping all the principles, and just while there are a few, it's enough to keep the whole thing going. And for the rest of us, we have to try to improve ourselves and come a little, closer to that full surrender that is required for us to become completely Krishna conscious and completely successful. Anyway, whatever our position, whether we're in the fire or whether we're standing just getting slowly warmed at the side of it, dancing around thinking, what should I do? The two things that Krishna consciousness comes down to are chanting or getting some attachment to chanting God's names. Because in that chanting, the purification of the heart takes place. Plus that chanting helps others people to hear and to get that idea of what they can do also to purify themselves. And the second thing is to be in kindness to other living entities. So simple really. Be kind to others and get attached to chanting God's names. Of course, there are a few other things that one may need to do to get to that point. Associate with devotees, read Srila Prabhupada's books, come to the temple, if you can, there's one near you. But these are not impossible things in this day and age for us to do. Some or other can find the money, the time, and the opportunity to do it. So, before we have Prashad, which should be here in a few minutes, are there any comments or suggestions, questions? Hi.
Could you tell us a bit about the process of your decision of becoming a devotee? And in particular, you mentioned you were doing book distribution at some point. Had you read all the philosophy first, or did you realise that there was something good and right about philosophy, therefore you're happy to distribute, or were you fully knowledgeable of the philosophy before you did the distribution?
Prabhupada would like, said to his, I'm not a Prabhupada disciple, this was Srimati Radha-Priya. I came after Srila Prabhupada left the planet and started to associate with devotees in 83, 84. Prabhupada, when I read Prabhupada's books, it said that, I didn't read them straight away, all of his books, but he said that devotees should they should be aware of what they're distributing, because sometimes the devotees had the skeleton understanding, and on the strength of Prabhupada's magnanimity and personal spiritual charisma, they just went through the war, whatever, for him, would do it. But he actually said, you should be actually reading these books, not just distributing them, because that way your strength becomes stronger. So I didn't distribute books for maybe some time, for a few years. And then just because other devotees were doing it, and I respected them, I joined them and just, tried to do it. But I always felt that it was a big struggle for me, to do that, and I tried to find newer and easier ways to actually distribute books. But it's not that one has to distribute books to be a devotee. There are so many other different programs in Krishna consciousness: sweeping the floor, cooking, making garlands, giving class. All of these can purify the personality. But book distribution is the fast track, because in it it's a big challenge to the false ego. When I first went out, I couldn't even stop someone, let mind sell a book to them, a spiritual book. It was so difficult. And halfway through the day I was thinking, this is ridiculous. The guys I'm with are all, some or other able to stop people. I couldn't do it, so in the end I just shouted out, anybody want a palm reading? Palm reading's £5. And go, because there are quite a few ladies, they like that sort of thing. So I stopped, I read their palm. They gave me £5, I gave them a book. So you should read this, all the stuff that I'm talking about is in there, So that's how I started. You wouldn't say it was pure devotional service, but it was how I could operate. And even still now, I use all the skills that I have in singing or in music to engage in Krishna service. And sometimes it's unusual. Sometimes people, devotees will think, oh, it's not really straight, direct, like, nice kartals and mridanga and Indianese type of tunes. I sing mostly Western type tunes, which I make up myself. But some or other Krishna allows it, because, why shouldn't we do that? With Western people, why shouldn't we be like that? I can't do the other stuff, so I do what I do. But I'm trying to do it for Krishna, and he allows me to stay around some or other. I've still not gone away after 25 years or whatever it is. So there's hope for everyone. If there's hope for me, there's sincerely hope for everyone. And I don't know. Radha, would you like to say something about you? She's a bit shy. She's not like a mouthy like me. What about you, Ambika? Would you like to say something about how you came to Krishna consciousness and why you went out on books, and did you have an understanding of the books when you went out? Would you like to say something?
What I have to say, how I came to Krishna consciousness.
Well, yeah, and the gentleman was saying how, when you were distributing books, did you actually know what was in them? Did you have...
Okay, of course I didn't read all Prabhupada's books, but still, you know that you have a very tiny knowledge and you can have already that. And you just, like, you just have some to give a book to someone. Anyway, it's very good for you, of course. And let me raise your hand, it's really nice. I will try to do that. It's really, it's good. You don't have to be like, oh, I already did all this, now I can go out. No, if you just go out and try, and anyway, Prabhupada is there, and you will follow.
And if you're convinced, you do that. And if you're not convinced, then you have to read the books. Really read the books, and then you'll see what Prabhupada is actually doing. I know it's a bit... sorry, are you ready to serve?
No, I haven't. I did not plan to do that, but I can do that if it's
I think
required.
maybe start to make out the plays or whatever they do, yeah. Because I'm a bit scared that I might be taking it over time. But just while you're waiting, these books are so powerful. I mean, even the fact that I read it, I knew, oh my God, this is for real. But I don't want to be a Hare Krishna devotee. And I want to have a bit of fun, and I like all the mystical stuff and stuff like that, And so I just chucked it on the side. But I knew, somebody said, oh, No, it's there. This is the time. You could really tell it in your heart. If you read the books, you'll find yourself. It's just the potency of Prabhupada's writing. And Prabhupada said that even if someone touches those books, their life will be turned. And you might think, that's a bit strange, that's a bit weird. But here's a couple of things that happened to me. You might think this is even more weird, but I'll just tell you very quickly. I do past life therapy. I take people back in hypnosis to past life, because in the subconscious mind is everything. It's all there. And these two girls, they were sisters, they were devotees as well. They wanted to know how they become devotees in this life. So I said, okay, I don't normally do it so much for devotees, because they generally have a very powerful past lives, and sometimes it might be a hard thing for them after they've been living on a heavenly planet to be here in the Brahmacharini ashram or something. So I took them back one by one, and one of them was a devotee in a previous life, and when she came back she said, oh, nothing happened. And I said, it did. She didn't realise that she'd gone into trance and she'd done it. But in a previous life, and she'd continued on from there, born into a devotee family. And the other one then had the same thing happen. But she wasn't devotee in her previous life, but she was a black boy in New York. But she got a book from Prabhupada. Not from Prabhupada, from the devotees. But she just got it. I said, what, did you read it? She went, no, they're just nice dudes, And she just chucked it on the side. But she touched the book. Now Prabhupada said, even if a person touches a book, something will happen to them. Either in this life or next life. They'll get something. And here it was. Again, when she came out of hypnosis, she said, oh, I didn't say anything. I said, no, you were in hypnosis. And her sister said, you were, because you looked at me thinking, oh, you're telling a lie. And her sister, no, you were in hypnosis, you were gone. And she said, what happened? She said, you were a black man in New York, and you got one of Prabhupada's books. And she said, oh, what, did I read it? So, and then was I devotee? She said, no, you didn't. You just thought they were nice people, you had some prasadam, and you left it at that. Krishna arranged in the next life, born into a devotee family. So whether you believe it or not, even if you don't believe what happened, what I said, try to believe what Prabhupada said. He wasn't a speculator like me. He wasn't an experimenter like me. But it may be that I'm telling the truth as well, because everything that I found when I did previous lives with other one, it's like a walking Bhagavatam. Animal births, heavenly births, all this stuff. Abrahma Bhuvano Loka Puna Abharatino Arjun, from the highest planet to the lowest planet. We've been taking births. Up and sometimes down, and up and sometimes down and across and sideways and so on. Finally,